Hey, we're live. It's the Three Guys Talking Ball podcast. We have Ethan, who is now in his new place, his future in-laws. Thanks, Joe Biden. You've made the economy so bad. Ethan has to live with his in-laws now. Grant's still holding it down in Plymouth Rock, Minnesota. I'm not saying you didn't. I just wanted to make a joke about Joe Biden and the economy, which I mean, it's really just. I just said Joe Biden's economy, and it's a joke.
The joke writes itself.
Yes, correct. Speaking of which, I had this was last week. I didn't even get a chance to tell you guys this, but I had another interesting bathroom encounter at Walmart last week. This dude, I mean, he was. No, I'm not that lucky. What?
Shoot. What a shame. What a shame that is.
But he go in, start going to the bathroom, whatever. This guy, hey, how's your morning going? And I could tell he was a little bit off. And this is like 7 a.m. And I'm like, oh, it's a Monday. Not too bad. How about you? Oh, not bad. My wife's a bird. I gotta go take her into the vet. She's not pregnant or anything, but she's just a little sick. Or no, she's about to hatch. I was like, oh, huh. All right. And I'm sitting there, and he kept talking about his wife that's the bird. And I'm like at the point where I'm like, okay, I get it. You're on drugs. It's Walmart, yada, 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 yada. And somehow I get the idea in my brain that I'm going to start interacting back with the guy. And I was like, yeah. Oh, so she doesn't have the bird flu? No bird flu, just morning sickness because she's about to hatch. I'm like, huh. All right. I'm like, well, the Pope has the bird flu. He's like, what? How does the Pope get the bird flu? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I got it from his Cardinals.
Oh, so bad, Dylan.
That guy thought that was the funniest thing in the world. He like midstream, just luckily there was a divider there. He like turns and like starts facing me, and you could see it dropping down, and I was moving my feet. That part I might have over exaggerated a little bit, but he was, by the time I was done and then washed my hands, he was still laughing about it. Oh, the bird flu with the Pope. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, I got to tell people that. Like,
how long was this guy going to the bathroom? Like, what did he have, a 2-minute stream?
He might have. Hey, you know what? He didn't look the healthiest, but you know what? Maybe he is healthy. That's a solid stream. You can't go wrong.
Just curious, because like you said, that is a long time.
I probably over-exaggerated. I don't know. I don't pay attention to I'm not like you, Grant, where I bring in my stopwatch and start timing people, see how long they go to the bathroom.
Well, I don't have much going on in my life, so why not have some bathroom activities?
See who has good streams, who's getting a clean bill of health at their annual physical.
Yeah, correct. Who has trouble going, and who do I see in there often?
A bunch of middle-aged white dudes.
Want me to check your prostate out, Bill?
Jeez. Oh boy, we are going all sorts of places here. But fellas, how was your guys' Memorial Day?
It was good. I grilled for the team at Target my last week. So yeah, it was.
Yeah, it is your last week. So we got some bit of news.
Last day tomorrow.
Last day tomorrow. Ethan is getting the new job. Let's give it up for him. Yeah.
Yes,
let's go, baby.
Moving on to the adult world. He's got a position in HR. So everybody should, when you do see him, he's I can't even remember what Toby's last name. Ethan Flenderson from The Office. So nobody's gonna like him from now on. that's just how the rules go.
Well, see,
We don't make them; we just follow them.
He's still in HR, and people in HR don't work, so it's okay.
No, we just make
Correct.
Yeah, they just sit
They
around.
do. They
sit
got the puckered assholes. They just everything has to be by the book. They don't understand anything in the real world or how things are supposed to get done.
Most people in HR I know, they're the biggest violators of HR rules out there.
Speaking of which, when I saw a dude with a shirt yesterday. He was working. He must have been where he was working for the city, and on the back of his shirt he had walking HR violation.
My kind of guy.
Yeah, you're telling me. My boss referred to me as that, and I have to do HR stuff now. So, that just makes you can't figure out who's the dumb one, me or the one that hired the dumb one.
Oh, definitely the guy who hired the dumb one.
Yeah,
it's not your fault, Dylan, that he hired a degenerate who's shouldn't be doing the job he's doing. It's not your fault.
But I'm not a degenerate. This job has changed me, Grant. I tuck my shirt in when I go to work now.
Do you wear a belt?
I get mad. I've essentially turned into the old man yelling at clouds. I feel like some days.
Do you wear a belt when you tuck your shirt in?
Yeah.
Okay, just verifying you're not some psychopath. Okay, just had to clarify.
No. I wear belt.
I'm not going to lie. For
I can get 3 loops right now, so I'm kind of a big deal.
Holy shit!
It was like I was like I might have to get a bigger belt because I'm getting kind of fat. But
I'm not going to lie. When Ethan asked that question, do you wear a belt or not? I was kind of concerned. Like, is there some sort of fashion trend out there where people are tucking their shirt in and not wearing a belt?
It happens. I've seen it.
That just doesn't feel right.
It doesn't. It's kind of a disaster.
And I know I don't dress that well. Let's call a spade a spade. But at least I know common sense there to when you tuck your shirt in to wear a belt.
Yeah.
That's true. But I mean there's also people that what do you guys think about guys who tuck in their t-shirts into their jeans?
Oh no.
Yeah.
No,
you guys haven't reached that level of that age yet?
No, can't. No, I don't own a pair of white New Balances, Dylan. I won't do that.
No, you haven't done that yet? No.
No.
I mean, what that is a good discussion. Like the oldest thing you do, which, like tucking in my shirt and feeling weird if I go places like I feel the need. No, I haven't. Where it's like people that I remember people that would say that they have to wear jeans or like wear like pants when they go out rather than just a pair of sweats or something because they might run into somebody. You haven't. That's another thing old people do, or get mad that they wear their hats on backwards or have different colored hair. But I mean, there's times where I'm in places and I see somebody that has like a different color, like of normal colored hair, and I get like that from the Dr. Rick commercial. Boop, we all see it.
Don't need
blue
to say
hair. He's got blue hair.
Talking about fashion, thoughts on this shirt from Morgan Wallen?
May contain whiskey. Not bad.
I like it.
I think it's
I
good.
like it.
Because, I mean, I will have whiskey.
And, I mean, he talks about drinking whiskey all the time.
I mean, it checks out.
It checks out. I'm a fan.
I can't wear my Houston We Have a Party shirt.
Why not?
I'm wearing it the next day.
Oh, yeah.
Why are you wearing it the next day? Why can't you wear it 2 days in a row? Is that a crime?
It's a 4th of July theme at the cabin on that Saturday. So
no one's gonna know.
Oh, you're at the cabin. You're at the lake. There's no rules. It's like a requirement to wear a dirty shirt.
And it's white, so I'm gonna get it dirty. I'm gonna sweat right through that thing.
Oh, that's fair.
Exactly. You're at the lake. No one's gonna care. That's part of it. So you don't have to shower for like 3 days.
Yeah, Ethan, you're engaged. You don't have to impress Hannah anymore.
Yeah, you don't have anybody to impress. She's stuck with you.
Don't worry. Here I am drinking on a Thursday night before I go to my last shift at work. I am not trying to impress anyone.
First off, it's Wednesday.
Did I say Thursday?
You did say
You
Thursday.
did.
Oh, yep, that's right.
It's the alcohol, folks. He's had one sip.
It's
sip.
Whiskey
Cut 'em off.
Wednesday, guys. Just remember that. Whiskey Wednesday.
Well, okay,
Huh.
so now you're drinking a whiskey now, so that shirt even fits you more.
Oh, I have like 8 bottles of whiskey here right now. It absolutely fits me.
All right, so there it is. You're buying that shirt.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. Right now, do it.
Let's
Don't
go.
pull the trigger.
Nope. Seal it, deliver it, good to go.
There it is. And speaking of which, a game that's going to be on Thursday is the Wolves extended it to a game 5 after a strong performance by Cat. The officials really trying to screw over the Wolves, which was one of my biggest fears going into this game or this series was, will the officials cave to Luka Doncic or Doncic, Donkey, however you say it. I'm not sure. I've heard it 6 different ways.
I think we should just call him Mr. Slovenia.
Mr. Slovenia?
Because
Luka
You can call him
Doncic.
anything. He's just a loser.
Or
That's true. He hasn't won anything yet.
We could call him 77.
77.
The fake ass Larry Bird.
Fake ass Larry Bird. The Slovenian Larry Bird.
The Slovenian Larry Bird.
He looks not that good.
He looks like a mouth breather. We could call him a mouth breather.
He's definitely a mouth breather.
I love how he was chipping. Was it, I think, game 3? At Kyle Anderson, the ball came back and just whacked him in the head.
Yes.
Hilarious.
But
I like the fake ass Larry Bird.
The fake ass Larry Bird. Okay. So, but how do you act? How are you supposed to actually say his last name? Is it Doncic? I think that's how Marv Albert says it, or is it the other Albert? No, it's Marv Albert,
yeah.
is it?
Yeah, it's
Doncic.
Like a CH. Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's Kevin Harlan right now.
Or Kevin Harlan. That's who I'm. Why did I think Marv Albert?
Well,
I was watching the
Marv Albert
the
was
winning
on TNT.
time. Yeah. But that was my biggest fear going into this series is, are the officials going to cater to Luka? And so far they have. I mean, it's outrageous how he does not get teed up at all. Like in game 3 where he's jumping up and down, and who was it? Kyle Anderson that got a technical for looking the other way? Is that who that was?
Yeah, he looked the other way and then shrugged him off like that. Yeah.
Jeez. And then the foul on Cat last night, that fouled him out of the game where he just completely jumps into Cat and they call the foul on him was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
well,
I questioned that one too.
Another egregious call was the 4-point play on Edwards. Like, he didn't touch him.
Yeah. No.
He did not touch
all.
him. And then how many times are our players getting hit in the hand and the wrist and other stuff like that, and the officials just straight up miss it? Like, it's bad.
Every
Wolves,
call he gets called against him, he acts like Usain Bolt and starts running like a 100-meter dash. Like, he does it every single time. Just starts sprinting down the court, bitching like a little girl. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Like, guys, I got to a point after game 3 when I was like, okay, well, the funeral's going to happen. I just accepted it. I was like, I have to cheer for the Celtics in the finals because I can't do this Luka nonsense anymore. He's just a giant crybaby. I was like, I can't do it.
And the thing about it too is like, I mean, the Wolves kind of had that reputation up until this year, and this series they've done a good job about not whining and complaining. And you would think that would actually give them the benefit of the doubt in some of these, but it doesn't. And I don't think the Wolves trying to play that game of whining and complaining, I don't think they want to go that way. I think in the end, I think they got to win last night. I think if they're able to get to game 5, get it to game 6, I think as this series wears on, I really like the Wolves' chances here. They were finally able to close out a game. They weren't the ones that were making the bad mistakes. Anthony Edwards was tremendous on the defensive side of the ball. Cat hit some huge shots. That's the thing is in the first 3 games, the Wolves' 2 big stars didn't play their best game, and they still had chances to win, and they were finally able to do it last night. If they want to continue, Cat's going to have a big game again. He's got to hit shots the way he was hitting it. Anthony Edwards, was clutch down the stretch on both ends, hitting some big jumpers that were able to break ties or extend leads, and then forcing a couple of turnovers on the defensive end. But and they just got to keep finding ways to not let the role players for Dallas, the PJ Washingtons, find ways to get buckets in big spots. But Game 5 tomorrow night, I've said, and we're spearheading this on the podcast is if you want something you never had, you have to do something you've never done. Nobody's ever came back from an 0-3 deficit. Why not the Wolves?
Dylan, you hit it right on the head there. Both points really about Anthony Edwards, particularly on the defensive end, and obviously Cat hitting those shots in the fourth quarter. But the biggest one was Ant on Doncic. I think he was 4-14 from the field when Ant was the primary defender last night. That's easily been the best that we've guarded him all I guess series. Kyle Anderson's done well, but Ant took it to a different level. You could definitely see Luka was super frustrated. But then Cat, coming in, hitting those back-to-back threes, and then hit a third one later on, that really sealed the deal. I think he ended up with 20 points in the second half before he fouled out. But, kudos to Cat. Every person in the media was just roasting him the last week for how bad he's played in the first 3 games, and rightfully so. And then even up until the first half of this game, he was awful. Like, he could barely do anything. Had a couple awful fouls. Anthony Edwards had an awful foul at the end of the second quarter that put Doncic on the line. But just to have the mindset to come back, hit those big threes, which the first one was not easy. Like, top of the key, yes, but he had a guy breathing down his neck. Next possession, goes to the corner, hits another one. So if he can keep that going, the role players step up. Nah kind of broke out of his slump a little bit. He hit 2 big threes in the second half as well. And they didn't even really get much from Nas. So there's a very real chance they extend this on Friday night or tomorrow night on Thursday. I'm not going to go crazy and say they're going to win the series. But each win you get moving forward puts a lot more doubt into Dallas's mind and a lot more pressure. Just because I don't even know how many times has it even been forced, a game 6 or 7 after a team's gone up 3-0 in the Western.
It happened last year with the Heat, Celtics, and then it happened. I think it was. I want to say it was the Trail Blazers got down 0-3 to the Mavs in like the early 2000s, and were able to force it to a game 7. No team has ever won though. No team's ever come back and won.
Yeah, and like Mike Conley said after the game last night, they haven't even played their best, and quite frankly, they haven't even come close. If they play even a hint of how good they played versus Dallas, or not Dallas, Denver in game 6 and 7, there's a very real chance they come back and win this series because Denver cannot compete with that. Dallas, jeez, I keep screwing them up. Jesus.
Cities that start with the letter D, it's whatever.
It's ridiculous.
Guys, it's kind of simple. Like Ethan, you said, or Dylan, you said, the first 3 games of this series, Kyrie and Luka dominated and played their best. Game 4, it was Ant and Cat. It's simple. Big time moments, you need your big time players to step up. Whatever 2 players play better in these next, if possibly 3 games, that's the team that's going to win this series, guys. Of course, you need your role players to step up. But, if Naz steps up and he has a big night and he has 21 points, but if Ant struggles and Ant only has 12, okay, that cancels it out. So it's kind of simple. If whatever 2 super group of 2 stars plays better, that's the team that's going to win this series. And Ethan, I agree with you. I think the 2 most important games for Dallas are game 5 and game 6. Because if it goes to 7, you could almost have to say the Wolves are going to win this series. I'm not saying they're going to, but if Dallas has 2 opportunities to close the Wolves out at home and they can't do it, then they're looking history in the eye and they're looking like choke artists. and it's going to be a long off season in Dallas. So it'll be interesting. Like I said, there's still a lot of work to do for the Wolves, and they got to show up tomorrow night and not be too energized and look like, oh, hey, we just beat these clowns. We're going to see you back here in Dallas in Game 6. So it'll be interesting, but just for our sake and in sports world's sake, I hope the Wolves keep winning, because then it'll be an interesting storyline, and it could possibly set up a couple of whale of games between these teams. And every game in this series has been good so far. So selfishly, as a sports fan, I want to keep watching more of this.
You honestly could argue the Wolves are just as close to sweeping this series as Denver or Dallas is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You take out 6 minutes of these first 3 games combined, and the T-Wolves are up 3-0, 4-0 at this point. The only game I'd say Dallas straight up won themselves without the Wolves almost handing it to them was Game 3. Everything else, like the T-Wolves essentially gave it to them, especially Game 2. That was awful. Just the absolute collapse over the final 2 minutes.
Well, guys,
they said a stat last night on the broadcast that the Mavs are the first team to win 3 games in a series when they've been trailing with 5 minutes to go in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and what's even crazy is like the 2 games at Target Center start the series. There's been a couple like 6-0 runs by the Mavs that have totally changed the complex of each game. Sure, they were in the first half, but the Wolves are up 21-12 in Game 1 in the first quarter, looking like, hey, they're going to have a 10-point lead going into the second. And then all of a sudden, the Mavs just go on some quick 6-0 run, and boom, momentum changes like that. And then in Game 2, in the first half, the Wolves are up by 18. All of a sudden, Dallas cuts it down to 12 at halftime, and the momentum goes like that. It just shows how fast things change in the playoffs, and basketball is just the ultimate game of runs. You get a little confidence going, and good things happen for you. So the margin of error in this series by both teams is razor thin. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Thursday night.
If KG shows up like it's being rumored, Dallas might as well just pack it up, head back to Dallas, and get ready for Game 6. Because there's no way in hell Ant isn't going to put on some absolutely insane show that Minnesota's honestly probably never seen.
Can he replace Draymond Green on the TNT broadcast?
The fact that he's still on there is almost embarrassing for the league.
It's
all he does is
did you guys hear his comment?
Incredible.
Did you hear his comments about how the NBA doesn't set players up for financial success the way they fine people? Gee, Draymond, I don't know. Maybe don't punch guys in the face or step on their chests or hit them in the nuts. Maybe you won't, or get teed up for arguing with the refs all the time. Maybe you wouldn't get fined. I don't know.
Draymond, this league,
guy, but man, he is such a tool now.
This league has given you $177 million over your basketball career, and you're trying to say this league doesn't give you success to financially retire? What kind of stupid are you? I understand he went to Michigan State, so he has two high school level educations, but I don't care if you live in California or the Bay Area and it's super expensive to live there. Hire a financial planner, or just don't be an impulsive asshole and get fined with all your money. Don't be a jerk. It's not that hard, Draymond. But yeah, also, you got to think, after this audition, no one is going to hire him afterwards, after his playing career.
Oh, no.
With how horrible this audition is and how people are ripping him online, his only chance is to hold on by whatever Cowherd's given him to continue his podcast. Or did that get canceled? Because I don't see him doing that anymore.
I don't follow Draymond, so I really have no idea what Draymond does. But it was luckily I didn't have to watch like any of the pregame show. We had softball last night, so I didn't have to watch it. I missed pretty much the first 2.5 quarters, and then was able to see the end. And I was yelling because the Wolves didn't make any free throws. Also, a big big point of
Another
the
part of the
series too,
series.
is a part of the series that they've reason why like it's not at least evened up is just they've struggled making some free throws, and their situational basketball just has not been very good. Now that's going to change these next 3 games, but the team that's whoever they're going to face is the Celtics, who swept the Pacers. And we're not going to talk a whole lot about this series because there really isn't a whole lot to talk about other than the Pacers. Oh, look, they just blew another lead. It felt a lot like when the 2018 NBA Finals, or that the 2018, I think it was either the conference semis or conference finals, when the Cavs played the Raptors, when the Raptors, and well, if we're going to the 2018 NBA Finals, we can talk. It felt like the Cavs played about as good as they could have played, and they ended up losing in overtime. That was the J.R. Smith thought they were up, but they were tied game. It felt like that just kind of took all the air out of that team, and then with Halliburton getting hurt, it felt like there was it was going to be a sweep after game 1. And I mean, they blew, they were in control the game 3 and game 4 for most of it, and then the last 2 minutes the Celtics just decided, no, we're not going to extend this series. We want the long break, and they played like the more aggressive, more desperate team.
I didn't watch any of the series. I just saw Jaylen Brown hit that 3 in the corner to tie it. Or was that to win it? I can't even. I think it was to tie it, and they ended up winning overtime to start the series. But I never watched anything else after that. You lose that big of a game 1. There's really no coming back, especially on the road. That's pretty backbreaking. So I figured it would be a pretty quick one when that happened.
Well, yeah, and if you're Indiana, you're just kind of sick to your stomach because, like Dylan, like you said, blow that lead in game 1. Game 2, you get roughed around. And then to be up in the fourth quarter and blow leads in these last 2 games with your best player out, it's going to make you a little sick to your stomach. But you got to finish games out. And that's why Boston was the number 1 team in the NBA this year. They were able to finish games. And when their superstars needed to make plays, guess what? They made plays.
They did.
Simple as that.
Yeah. So hopefully this is we're not going to have to sit around and talk about a conference or the NBA Finals preview on the next episode here, and some sadder news that we had over the weekend on, I believe it was Memorial Day. NBA legend, basketball legend Bill Walton passed away. Always enjoyed listening to him on the Pac-12 After Dark. I don't remember it, but he was like one of the lead broadcasters on the for NBC, and then ended up going to the Pac-12 After Dark. Just an incredible guy to listen to. Someone that, he was just, when you saw him, you just saw the energy exuberate off him and how much he loved life. He was always present. He wasn't like Ethan staring at his phone.
I was watching a really good video. Couldn't help myself.
Oh yeah, not present here, but someone that somebody that just enjoyed life, something that you can always take, wherever he was. It was awesome. You listen to some of the interviews. He talks about how it was the greatest interview he's ever been in, ever done. He could have. And he didn't have to be that way, because there's, a lot of people talk about before the injuries, he could have been a top 5 all-time NBA player if his injuries didn't catch up to him in Portland. Probably the number 2 greatest college basketball player of all time. A crazy stat was he didn't lose a game from his junior year of high school until his junior year of college.
It's decent.
Not
playing
too bad.
for playing for UCLA. He was the sixth man of the year in Boston. A lot of people have said that the Celtics, they don't win it. It came down to Boston and LA, and LA didn't want to sign him because of the medical, and Red Auerbach waived him taking a physical because he knew he was that good of a player. And he's like, if he can come out, if he says he's healthy, he can play. And he was a huge contributor for that Celtics team in '86, and a big reason why they won the championship. And a team that many people say is in the discussion for the greatest NBA team of all time. And I asked you guys, I texted you guys this to because we obviously weren't alive to watch Bill Walton play, but did your guys' dads say anything about what they remember about him?
My dad said he remembers watching him in the finals versus the Lakers, and that was the extent of what he said. Craig is a man of many words.
I can tell.
No, I talked with my dad today, but totally forgot to bring up this in discussion just because with some other stuff that's going on. The fire alarms were set off in his house this morning at 5:00, so that was a disaster. Talking about that and just kind of some other stuff going on. Him and Mom went on vacation over Memorial Day and forgot to bring up Bill Walton with him. So, like I said, I talked to him, but I was not able to talk about Bill Walton.
What'd Kerry say?
He said he remembers him in college and how like he was the reason the NCAA outlawed dunking for a time. And he said he had like, you couldn't put your hands above the rim or something. I think that was the rule. And he probably got called, probably could have had like 20 more points or something like that. But the officials said that his hands were too far above the rim and it was considered a dunk. But that was kind of the extent. Said he remember, and then he remembers watching him in '86 and '87 when he played for the Celtics and watching that team. The real Larry Bird.
With the real Larry Bird, yes, not the fake ass Larry Bird.
No. But I think that kind of wraps everything else up. I don't know if you guys got anything else to talk about here before we get to curveball of the week.
Can't think of much.
Nothing I can think of.
No? All right. Have you guys made it out on the golf course at all lately?
No. We're actually going Saturday morning down in Lakeville though.
Ah. I hurt my shoulder golfing last week, so that was cool.
How does one do that?
You flub a shot, and of course it's not the person hitting the ball's fault. It's always the club. So in frustration, you slam the club down, and then somehow it gets like jammed into the ground, and your shoulder like pops.
That's why you just throw it, so you don't have that happen. Just ask Grant. I chucked mine into like 3-foot high weeds once.
Yeah, you just got to throw the club.
Yeah, I launched that.
I've done that a few times too. I've also broken a club. And then watching the Wolves game 3 after hurt shoulder, and I was watching it. I had a hat on, and I threw my hat at the wall because I was pissed that the Wolves were going to lose, and it was probably a bad call on somebody.
Mm-hmm.
After I threw it, my shoulder, I winced. I was like, ow, why did I do that? That hurt. And then playing softball last night as I was catching and I was throwing it back. The first one, it was like, ooh, that shouldn't happen.
Ooh, that's a little ginger.
Uh-huh. But Grant, what do you got for us for curveball of the week?
So it's kind of a question. Guys, there's this.
Well, it has to be a question.
Oh, good. That's fair. How stupid am I? So, unlike this popular dessert, guys, it's the same dessert, but there's two different names that people have called it. I want to know your opinion. Are they Special K bars or are they called Scotcheroos?
Scotcheroos. There's no discussion on this. It's Scotcheroos.
Ethan?
That's the only correct answer.
Wrong. Special K bars.
No, I am not. Because you don't use Special K, you use Rice Krispies for it. And
okay, there's only one way to decide this. We put a poll on the Facebook and Twitter pages.
okay,
That's actually fair.
And well, the last couple, because I mean, I put this up with Bags Cornhole 1, and it's absolutely Scotcheroos. It's not Special K bars. Only losers say that.
It's a Special K bar.
Because I remember one time, I think it was in college, I said something about having a Special K bar. And then someone heard that and absolutely berated me. And
good.
Essentially made me question if I should even be living on this planet anymore. That's how strong.
You shouldn't be.
That's how strong his conviction was.
Who is this person? They are my hero.
You can't call something a Scotcheroo if it doesn't have scotch in it. Like, the hell's the point? Like, it's just ridiculous.
It doesn't need to have scotch. There's no scotch in it. It's a
Scotcheroo because it makes it sound like it's scotch.
I don't make the rules. I just follow them.
I'm just pointing out your flaws here. That's all I'm doing.
Maybe the original Scotcheroos did have scotch in them.
But we don't know.
We
can't call it that.
Because this person just absolutely berated me. It made me question things. And then we had this discussion also Sunday out at Alex's parents' place because some people came over and someone brought some for the group, and then it was again 50-50, either Special K bars or Scotcheroos. So I was just infatuated with this debate that I needed to get your guys' opinion on it. And honestly, since I have no spine and I'm a loser, I don't know where I stand on this anymore because I've called it both in my life, and I just love the dessert so much. I don't care what it's called. I grew up
Special K. I will die saying Special K.
What do you call it? A walking taco too? Then
it's a taco on a bag.
And tater tot casserole.
That just sounds
tater tot
bad.
Hot dish. It's a hot dish. Don't even give me.
Okay,
that was the worst one right there, Dylan. Tater tot casserole. Get the hell out of here.
That's not even.
I don't
ring to it.
No, that doesn't have a ring.
I'm not saying. I mean, you call them Special K bars. There's good assumption to that you probably call it a casserole or shit, or you don't call cornhole bags. There's definitely some reasons.
Because you throw bags. The hell is corn?
It's cornhole. The professional league is the American Cornhole League.
Corn. Where is there corn in this game?
Because the first bags were made with corn in it.
Yeah.
Where are they now? Where are those bags now? They're done.
They've improved.
They're gone.
Filled with sand?
Filled with sand.
Bags of sand? What'd they feel like?
You toss a bag. You don't toss a piece of corn.
I'm not tossing your corn.
Nor is the hole made of corn. It's just an atrocious
there is no
thing.
hole ever made of corn. That is also factually correct.
Well, that's not entirely true.
Oh.
That's a little disturbing.
Yeah, so I was just curious, and I'm glad I asked this question because it's clearly got some people, their brain buckets spinning, and it's going to divide the people on the internet.
No, it won't. Because they're all going to say Scotcheroos. Nobody refers to it as Special K bars.
That's a false statement. A few of us here do.
No, here, you know what? I'm going to be lame here, guys, and guess what? I don't have an answer to my own question. You know why? Because whoever brought them to the gathering, whatever they call them, that's what I will call them. I could go to Jimbo's house.
Oh, you're such a scapegoat.
No, I'm just a spineless loser, but I don't care because they're delicious.
Yes, you are.
They're delicious, and I love them, and I'm not going to upset anybody.
Ethan, Grant is what you would call the alt middle. So if there is somebody that is talking to him with 4 masks on, talking that COVID is still a serious threat, Grant would sit there and listen and agree fully. He'd start putting all 4 masks on. Oh, yeah, Joe Biden's the greatest president in the world. Donald Trump's the greatest president in the world. Grant's just going to nod his head and agree that whole time. That's what Grant is. Grant is the
Talking
alt
about
middle.
Trump, one of my workers today said if she got the chance, she'd shoot him in the face. So yeah, it's going great.
Nice.
Well, luckily she's not one of your coworkers anymore.
She's like my favorite coworker. She's the GOAT.
Oh, but all right. Well,
and then randomly, I have another question too.
okay.
Dylan, it's funny you mentioned special K bars, or as you call them, Scotcheroos, are made out of Rice Krispies. Are Rice Krispie bars candy bars or not?
Yes.
No, they're Rice Krispie bars.
Thank you. Just like how a hot dog's in a sandwich, it's a hot dog.
Yeah, I would consider for it to be a candy bar, I would say it has to have chocolate in it, or chocolate has to be like the base of it.
I thought you were talking about no. Yeah, a Rice Krispie bar is not a bar. No.
Correct. Yeah, it's not.
I
It's
thought you
not
meant
like a
Kit Kat. Sorry, I don't know why I thought I tied that.
Oh no. Like the cereal with the melted marshmallows or whatever the hell's in those things.
That's not a bar.
Okay, good. That was an easy one.
Yeah,
It's good cereal.
It is a good cereal.
I don't know. I'm trying to. It was. I don't know the last time I've had cereal, to be honest with you guys.
Mine was probably a couple months ago here. They had some, what did they have? Captain Crunch.
Ooh.
It was phenomenal. Yep.
My favorite was the wild berry Captain Crunch. God, the top of my mouth hurt because it felt like it cut it open all the time. But God, that was good.
Gotta be.
I'm sure that's not the only thing.
Oh, no, it's not.
You guys are disgusting.
Scotcheroo special K bars. I don't care. The dessert's delicious.
I had a couple at a graduation open house. Speaking of which, you know what's something that I was thinking about is like when we were like in high school. Yes, I did graduate high school. Thank you. In fact, I was so good in college, I graduated in 3 years.
Wow.
And I mean, you guys got a front row seat to seeing me and my college studying ability.
I didn't know Xbox and watching The Office on Netflix was studying ability.
Hey, you know what? Some can, some can't. You know, I graduated in 3 years.
Nearly getting arrested.
I didn't almost get arrested. Connor wouldn't have arrested me.
You're lucky you got to the right security officer that night.
Well, it's his fault. If he wouldn't have been there and he would have said, I better not see you tonight, I'm like, I made it my mission. I was going to see Connor at some point. And it was all we needed to warm up. It was because it was like the coldest day of the year my birthday decided to fall on.
Yeah, it was freezing that night. I do remember that.
Uh-huh. But that I think that wraps up the show, fellas. We'll be back. Hopefully, what is Game 7 supposed to be? Will it be
probably
Thursday,
Monday.
Saturday, Monday?
Okay.
Yeah, because then it gives them Tuesday, Wednesday off to get to Boston. Game 1 Thursday.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Well, then that wraps up the show. We'll be back again, depending on when the Western Conference Finals wraps up. Hopefully, the plan is to be recording on Wednesday with an NBA Finals preview featuring the Wolves and Celtics. And before we close out, if you want something you never had, you have to do something you've never done. We'll talk to you next time.